welcome to Today at Noah. I can nearly say G1 Climax. Noah N1 Victory Tournament. This is our first non-New Japan tournament that we are covering. And joining me, as always, not always on Today at, but most of the time on Today at, is Christy. How you doing, Mom?
Hi. Yeah. Okay. It's been a challenging couple of days, I have to say. I
Yes.
am first of all in my real life, I've started both my jobs again. So it's stressful and there's a lot going on there. And then wrestling is supposed to be, the escape, and
Yeah.
it's been challenging. It's been a struggle. It's been emotional. So, yeah.
Yeah, it has. We have to pay respects to two people at the beginning of this show. First thing I'm going to talk about Jaka, who was a big part of wrestling in North America. And if you have been watching social media for the last couple of days, you will see people like Chris Brooks and Zack Sabre Jr. And loads of people who were involved with Evolve around about 10 years ago, explaining how much they love Jaka, how much support he gave them as kind of the ace of the company in that particular time period, and how much he helped his community. And we always support wrestlers that help their community. So we have to say thank you to him. And sadly, he will be very, very much missed. He passed away after a heart attack after a match earlier this week. And it's one of those things in the wrestling business that we never really get used to, because this is a really hard business on human beings and bodies. And we also have to say goodbye to somebody else as well, a much, much younger wrestler at the beginning of his career, Taishin Nagao of All Japan Pro Wrestling. Christy, would you like to talk about this? Because he's much more closer to your heart than mine.
Yeah, so for people who don't know what happened, Taishin Nagao was the rookie for All Japan. He debuted in October. He was the guy in the bright green tights. Very beloved, very talented. He was clearly destined for greatness. But then at the very end of May, we got the news that he'd been in an accident and he was crushed by a tour bus. And some news said it was All Japan's tour bus. Some are a bit more vague about it. The issue here is that all of it is due to Google Translate or automatic translate function, so it's a bit difficult to find out what is and is not true, or what's just an awkward translation. But he was in a very serious accident. He ended up in the intensive care unit in the hospital. And at first, All Japan was kind of, well, we hope he'll come back soon, so the fans were like, oh, okay, these things happen, couple of broken ribs maybe, he'll be back. But eventually it turned out that he was still in the ICU after months, and wrestlers had been allowed to visit, but none of them had shown any pictures, so it was very clear that he wasn't awake yet, and that's when people got really nervous. And it turned out the worries were
Justified.
yeah, because a couple of days ago, 7th, I believe, All
Mm-hmm.
Japan shared the very tragic news that he had passed away at 21 years old, less than a year into his career. And it's tragic. It's been something that's been on my mind a lot. I had planned to watch, Noah live, or at least
Yeah.
as live as I could, and I just didn't feel like watching any wrestling for at least 2 days, so I ended up watching it today and a bit yesterday. Because it's not just the fact that it's a 21-year-old who dies before his life has even really started, right? It's not just that he was such a bright and talented and amazing person. Like, all the responses from all the wrestlers in and outside of All Japan have all just been, oh, he was so helpful, he was so nice, he made us feel so welcome. Like Zion, for example, who is a foreign wrestler. He talked about how welcoming Taishin was and how much he helped him, and that he became his little brother. And he was everyone's little brother. He was Kento Miyahara loved him. He was always around. Hideki Suzuki called him senpai because Taishin Nagao debuted in All Japan before Hideki joined. Um, they loved him and the fans loved him, and he's just and I hate that. I think the story of his wrestling career will now be, oh, he's the guy who died when he was 21. And I hate that for him. And I hope that people will remember the spitfire of a young guy who, even though he had less than a couple of months, of training, was already squaring up with Kento Miyahara and could stand in a wrestling ring with the ace of the company and not feel out of place.
Yes.
So I am incredibly sad, but I am touched by the amount of love that poured out when the news hit, and the Japanese fans who talked about their memories of him with the pictures, and tragic.
Yeah.
But I hope we can all remember
Yes, absolutely.
what Taishin Nagao gave us.
I think in our modern wrestling world, and we often complain about the fact there's just too much stuff to watch. And there is, but it does mean that his memory lives on, as does Jaka's memory live on as well. If you want to go find those matches, we strongly suggest you should do for both of those wrestlers, because they were incredibly talented.
Yeah, if I can suggest for Taishin Nagao, Taishin Nagao versus Kento Miyahara. Definitely his first big main event, if I remember correctly. And then Taishin Nagao versus Shota Kofuji, which was his last match that he ever wrestled, which was his very first singles victory, which clearly meant a lot to him. It meant a lot to Shota Kofuji, who talked about it, who said that he was grateful that he was Taishin's last match and that he could give Taishin his very first victory. So that was nice too.
Yes. Right then, we are going to move on to coverage of the N1 Victory Tournament. Now, during the G1 Climax, we did pick teams, and we are going to pick teams again. So we're going to take 2 wrestlers from each block, because if we pick the same number we did in G1 Climax, we'd run out of wrestlers fairly quickly. So, I am going to let Christy go first. Who would you like? Block A.
From Block A, who do you think I want from Block A?
You pick one. Yeah, should we go to alternate? So you pick one from Block A, I pick one from Block A, you pick one from Block A.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I was wondering if it were going to be Ulka Sasaki by any chance.
Yes, it's definitely going to be Ulka Sasaki. He's definitely number 1. Yeah.
Any forgiving reason for that? I just
really enjoy him. I enjoy watching him. I enjoy the character aspect of him. He's like a presence when he shows up, and then in the ring he gets very creative, and I enjoy that. And he's also very pretty.
Yes, he's very nice looking. Absolutely. Also, yeah, it's intriguing to me as well, because he is a proper shooter, which is not your favorite type of wrestler at all.
Yes, but he adds like a character aspect to it. Like the moment he walks out, you're like, oh, look at him. The modern day Tengu. Like, that's so cool. And just, that's...
It's interesting because I was searching for pictures for something and I can't remember what for, and look back at his pictures of his MMA career, and he looks like the least MMA type fighter you've ever come across, because he's got short crop blonde hair. So he stands like a mile in a Japanese MMA ring, whereas this across the ring from this much shorter, stockier individual with traditional blackened sides. It's really bizarre that he can't. Well, not so bizarre. I think probably he's one of those guys whose character is closer to his wrestling character, is closer to his real life character. If you see what I mean.
I guess I'm not sure that if a Tengu is ever going to be close to real life, but
no. I think what I mean to say is there are a lot of elements in his personality that are in his ring character. That's probably a better way of putting it. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's not exactly like he is in real life. Having met him in real life, he's a very chilled out guy and there's got lots of presence just standing there.
Yeah, I think that's why I gravitated towards him.
Yeah, he looks impressive, just stood there in a tracksuit and a t-shirt.
Even though he's skinnier than 90% of the roster.
Yes, unfortunately, in the match he was in on this show, skinny was always going to look skinny anyway. 250 pounds. That's Manabu Soya would look skinny against Fujita, wouldn't he? So anywho, my first round block A, sorry, my first pick from block A is going to be Tetsuya Endo, because Sarah Kerjak would never speak to me again if I picked anyone else. So,
You're not interested, but someone else will bully you.
someone else would bully me. Yes, Canadians would bully me. And let's face it, you don't be like angry Canadians. That's the worst kind of bullying. It'd be like hockey chants and stuff at me. So
Well,
yeah.
they'd make you feel embarrassed and oh, I made a Canadian mad. The people universally known to be, chill and laid back, and I pissed them off. I must have done something horribly wrong.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. If this opportunity arrived and I did not take it, I would never hear the end of it. No, that's not true. I also do like Tetsuya Endo a lot. For those of you who don't know, he's currently on an excursion now, where you normally see him hanging out in DDT. He's spent a year in excursion in Noah, and we'll talk more about his character because he's in the opening match. So we'll talk about him soon. But I genuinely do like Tetsuya Endo. He's fantastic. He's a great wrestler. Interesting character traits as well. And has had an interesting story in Noah. So I was intrigued as well as the possibility of Sarah being mad at me. Would be not nice.
Funny.
um,
This is like if you went to do a podcast with someone else and you're like, well, I have to pick Shota Umino because otherwise Christy will pick me.
Yeah, there's a possibility. Block A, pick 2 then for you.
Kaito Kiyomiya. I have to.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Is someone going to bully you if you don't pick Kaito again?
No.
Okay.
I do enjoy me a good baby face, especially if they go crazy and like do questionable things. So and I've always enjoyed Kaito, and he feels like one of those guys who's been thrust into a position that he wasn't maybe completely ready for, and then people judged him automatically, and now a lot of people aren't willing to give him any, leeway whatsoever, which reminds me of a certain someone. And I just really like him. I like his attitude. I like his positive, destructive nature right now, like the crazy eyes. I enjoy it. It's good.
That's fair.
It's good.
I like him. He's good too. My second round pick is resting towards Manu Bisoya. Because, as you know, I do like a big lumpy wrestler. And looking at the options, I was torn between Kenta and Manu Bisoya, but I think there's going to be more interesting options with Manu Bisoya. I love Kenta, don't get me wrong. Living legend, current Global Honor Crown champion. All of that. Enjoying his work right now. However, I want to shine a light on Manu Bisoya, and I think that will do it. Because I do like his work. He's getting... he got quite a push over the last year. He was like United National Champion like twice, I think. And he's he keeps clawing his way to the Global Honor Crown inch by inch, and I really enjoy the struggle of him trying to get there but never quite making it. He's kind of in that Ishii position of around about 2018, and obviously they've had their problems in the past. So yes, I like Sawyer a lot, and I think he's kind of cool. So I'm going to pick Manu Bisoya. Right then, Block B.
Keno. Definitely.
I thought he was going to pick Keno.
I am predictable. Yeah, I love Keno. I enjoy him. He amuses me greatly. The small but angry spitfire of a douchebag who is an asshole all the time and somehow likable for it is so up my alley. Yeah. Love Keno.
Yeah, that's it. I am going to pick with Galano. Now, Luchador's not always normally my thing, but me and Marcus loved him in Glee. There's this guy who can do like Topicon Helos and he's 300 pounds and is built like a house. And it's like, now I am concerned for his knees long term, don't get me wrong. However, the other members of the Wagner family seem to be doing all right. So, and they're all big lads. So I think he's going to be okay. But I love watching him wrestle because he's just ridiculous. He can do so many things for the size he is and has a great wrestling brain as well. His matches are always a blast, so I have to follow him.
It's funny. It's very convenient how different we are.
Yes.
Because we're never going to clash.
Probably not.
You're like, oh, I want Soya and I want Galeno. And I'm like, yeah,
So that's okay. That's mutually great.
I'm not worried that you're going to take my picks away. It's a good dynamic between us.
Okay, then. So second pick for Group B.
I look, I was going to pick Ozawa because that was
Yeah, I think that's probably the only one where we would have both clashed on. I don't think it's a tight
yeah.
tournament. Because I probably would have picked Ozawa as well, but yeah.
I wanted to watch him so badly because he's so
Mm.
entertaining and so funny, and I've heard so many good things about him, and I was very excited about getting to watch an entire tournament of singles matches. But yeah, well, things didn't happen the way we wanted them to.
No.
We'll talk about that later on. So I had to pivot, as they say. I am not the biggest Noah fan. Like I don't get to watch as much as I want to. So a bunch of these, I was like, I not really familiar with you all that much. And some I'm just not into.
Yeah.
I was torn between Marufuji just for the oh he's Marufuji.
Yeah. The classic
But I
no
end
one at all.
yeah, but I ended up picking based on just the first round matches, Harutoki, because I
Cool.
enjoyed him. He's
When you were asking questions about the fish costume, I thought you might be airing that way.
well, I was also just curious. But he's a good guy, babyface, underdog, right up my alley. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, we'll pick him. And see, I doubt I'll get like a lot of points with him. Whatever. It's who I enjoy anyway, so it's fine.
Yes. I think that's the thing is like we're both kind of like picking a bit more blind. It's not like we're completely ignorant towards Noah, but it's something we're less familiar with, so therefore we can't pick and choose storylines and figure things out. We have to kind of like go by the seat of our pants for this tournament.
Yeah. And
So,
last time for the G1, I picked purely based of what I enjoyed, and they ended up being people who got me a lot of
yeah,
points. I feel like Ozawa would have gotten me a lot of points.
definitely.
But
Yeah.
that wasn't why I picked him or wanted to pick him. Anyway.
Okay then. I'm torn. I was like, this one was a bit tricky for me. I'm gonna go with Jack Morris because I like Jack Morris. He's cool. I like him. He's cool in a kind of like Okada big boy presence kind of sense, and he too is kind of like pouring his way to the global underground inch by inch, but never quite getting there, despite heel turns and face turns aplenty. And I'm hoping they do get there because I'd like him to stick in Noah for quite some time because he's just a good presence, and he's kind of like they are starting to reach a more international audience, and you've got a guy that looks like a Greek god in a kilt is probably a guy you want on your side at that particular moment. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Jack Miller. What's your thoughts on him?
I like Jack Morris. I just
Morris, not Miller.
sorry.
I said Miller a second ago. And I know why Miller came into my head. Jack Morris was after. Carry on.
No, it's okay. I like him. I just this is very very dumb, but whenever I look at his face, I'm reminded of No Neck Ed from that one dating show. And I just
to be fair, with quite a few wrestlers down the years, you could accuse of having their neck set into their shoulders.
yeah, but no, it's not the neck. It's the face. It's
right.
it's the nose and eyes and like. Do you know who I'm talking about?
It's kind of like if he didn't have a beard, it would all fold into one.
Yeah, but do you know No Neck Ed?
Yes, I have heard of the character. Yeah.
Well, it's not a character, sadly. I wish it were. For people who don't know, No Neck Ed is infamous because he was on a dating show where he got to meet like well, it's not a dating show, but it was a show about dating, about people long distance relationships, and they finally get to meet. I think something like that. And he met up with a young woman from somewhere in Asia. It's been a while since I watched that episode, or at least parts of the episode. Who he knew online, and he'd been basically lying about pretty much everything about himself, including how short he was. Like he's a very short, stout guy with no neck. Like it just morphs into each other. Hence the nickname No
Right.
Neck Ed. And he turned out to be a huge douchebag. Like complaining that she didn't shave enough, complaining that she wanted too much from him, being disgusted by the way her house looked because she's poor, right? And wanting her to take an STD test before sleeping with her because he wondered if she was,
Okay.
that kind of thing. So it's not a judgment on Morris compared to that guy. It's just purely the face reminds me.
Jack, I think you're lovely. I would just like to point that out right now. And I picked you because I thought you were a nice man.
I mean, have you seen No Neck Ed? Have you seen his face?
I will
Please
look him
tell
up
me
now.
you see it. I'm sorry, Jack.
Oh, yes, I see what you mean. I can see where you're coming from, yes. Though, admittedly, that guy's about 200 pounds heavier than Jack Morris, and sadly, a lot shorter.
Jack Morris is handsome as fuck. Don't get me wrong, he's very good looking. But the first time I saw his face, I was like, No Neck Ed. And I just can't look at him and not think that. It's just, yeah. Sorry.
But he does put on quality professional wrestling matches. Would you not agree?
Yes, but his face, James.
Yes, but I just don't like his face.
I like his face. It just reminds me this clown. No Neck Ed.
Okay then. Shall we start reviewing matches before we giggle ourselves into oblivion?
Before we go, who was the
Yes.
person you were torn between? Jack Morris and
I'm just trying to remember. Daiki and Aber, because they wrestled each other. I was like, ooh. Ooh. But I'm gonna go with my man, Jack Morris.
Okay.
It was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Apparently no one else did looking at this cage match score, but I liked it, and that's the important thing. Shall we start reviewing said matches?
Let's go.
So I must admit, a year ago, when the new faction of Team 2000X, which, well, we'll get to that in a second, which was going to be managed by Yoshitatsu and had a leader in Jack Morris, I was not whelmed, I think is the phrase. Nor was the rest of the wrestling world. I think you will agree. Most of us went, you what?
You were kind of underwhelmed, maybe.
I was underwhelmed because trying to refresh a 25-year-old New Japan faction led by the least popular wrestler on earth was perhaps a bridge too far for some of us. We may have gone, fucking hell. No, what are you doing? Now, in the years since then, I have to say I was wrong. And I'm a big enough man to say I was wrong. I need a diet big enough man to say I was wrong. And they have produced some wonderful, wonderful storylines and some incredible matches. And the most important storyline, I feel, is Tetsuya Endo's storyline, because when he came into Noah, after announcing his departure from DDT for a year-long excursion, he debuted as a heel in Team 2000X. And then slowly but surely, Segura worked on him and straightened him out and made him into a babyface before turning on him because Segura's a jerk. Because he is. This is the same guy was like, I'm going to stand up for Noah and rile against Suzuki Gun, and Minoru Suzuki will never stand up against me until Suzuki said, do you want to come and join Suzuki Gun? And he did. Because he's a jerk. Completely untrustworthy. And Tetsuya Endo has ever since been cracking on with your Team 2000X. And this is a good example because he was wrestling Daga in the opening match of this one, a Team 2000X member. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this. And it was lots of character work and a compelling professional wrestling match just up your street, Christy. What did you think of this opener?
Yeah, I like I said, I don't know. Don't watch a lot of Noah. I don't have the time. It's not that I don't enjoy it, but I of course know both these guys really well. And first of all, because the amount of Tetsuya Endo fans on my timeline posting pictures of him.
Is it because he's devilishly handsome and shaves all his body hair by any chance? Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, it's the abs. It's definitely no. It's not just the abs. That sounds shallow. Though he is gorgeous. And Daga is very handsome. It's a perfect combination of two very handsome people having a wrestling match.
Yes.
Anyway, I wanted to establish that now we're getting to the shallow bit. I was like, now it's making me shallow. So I noticed that they are handsome. No,
Yes.
what I meant to say is that I know both of them quite well through osmosis, like because I have a lot of friends who love them. So I was excited about this match, and it turned out to be an exciting match. Like, uh, the whole thing where Daga did that scoop slam through the ropes was so good. I was like, how did you do that? The athleticism, the Daga being a dick but still winning clean. There
Yeah.
wasn't like Yoshitatsu was at ringside, and he might have done one, scummy thing or whatever, but
He
for
grabbed,
the
he
most,
grabbed an ankle at one point, and
yeah,
that was it.
for the
Yeah.
most part, this was a one-on-one wrestling match.
Mm.
And I just enjoyed it so much. I was a little torn on if I wanted to pick Daga, but I couldn't go against Kaito, so I ended up with Kaito Kiyomiya. I was torn on if I wanted to pick Daga as one of my guys. Really enjoyed him. I like that he's like a little bit shorter than the average guy and a little bit, a mean streak. Like he has the whole, I know I'm not as big as you guys, but I have my ways kind of thing. Really fun.
I think the
And
first time sorry, Karen.
yeah, and Tetsuya Endo is just a marvel. He can still go all the moves, all the flips, he's just so impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say I was pretty sure I'd seen Daga first in Lucha Underground, which I think is correct. Yes, it is. I saw him first there, and I was really impressed with him back then. So that was like nearly 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And so I've kept an eye on him wherever he's gone, and he fits really well with Noah because he's kind of like Noah has this undercurrent of lucha that's always there, and like because Super Crazy goes and does a few tours, and there's always more lucha than there is anything else influencing Noah aside from King's Road stuff. So it's always interesting when they get a guy like Daga who's kind of like kind of this perfect mix of lucha and King's Road. So he's just the right fit for this promotion. And then you get someone in Endo who could like wrestle a lamppost and make it look amazing. So yeah, it was really good.
Just don't pay attention to who Daga used to date. Just no.
So yes. One of the most fortuitous divorces one could hope for. You can go look at Wikipedia and figure out who that was. Anyway, she's not a favourite of the Treepenny Show or anyone else apart from DNA executives.
DNA early. I was about to say.
Can't get rid of her, despite the fact she screwed the company out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. But no, they brought her back. There is no forgiving. There is always forgiveness in wrestling. I suppose that's a virtue, depending on who you're forgiving. Anyway, Daiki Inaba and Jack Morris, 5 minutes 34 seconds. This was a blast. Jack Morris was turned on by Team 2000X some time ago. Has been a babyface.
It was what?
He was turned on, not turned on, turned on. You think I was saying? Bring the things to the gutter. We haven't sworn yet once, and now you're sliding double entendres in there. And
you started.
I didn't.
I just nudged. I was just putting it out. I was just like, look, there it's going. Look, there's a double entendre. It's right there.
Yeah. Podcasting with you is like podcasting with 20-year-old me.
Sorry. I think.
All right, anyway, Jack Morris and Daiki Inaba, 5 minutes 34 seconds. This was a good little match, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I like Jack Morris a lot, or else I would have picked him on my team. And he's kind of in full-on babyface mode now, and I like him punching the air and giving affirmations. I think it's good. What did you think of this one?
Once I got over the fact that he looks like that person, I enjoyed it a lot. Jack Morris scares me a little because he immediately started jumping through the ropes and then kind of catching himself on the ropes. And then he got on top of the turnbuckle and he jumped off the top rope and kind of slipped when he did. And I was like, oh my god, please calm yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. But he did. He calmed down a little, and I think these two worked really well together. I really, really like that. The jumping spear that Inaba did from the turnbuckle.
Yeah, that was gorgeous.
Spear. I don't know what to call it. I don't know how to describe it. But
Sling spear.
Yeah, kind of.
I will look at his cage match page and see if they have a name for it.
Yeah, it's cool. It was nice. And it's good that this wasn't the heel face kind of match. This was we are two wrestlers who are going to wrestle, and sometimes that's just as enjoyable as an underdog versus a bully kind of story. So just really good. I like Inaba. I was considering him as well. I don't know as much about him as I know most of the other people in this tournament, so I'm curious to see what he does and if I like him. Probably. I always end up liking guys like him. So, yeah.
Yeah, it could be Extreme Warp. That's one of his finishes. Is called Extreme Warp, and I couldn't figure out if that was the one. One of my peeves on the commentary is them not always knowing finishes sometimes. Like they know all the big finishes, or sometimes they miss stuff, and that was the only thing that kind of stuck out a little bit sometimes. So it's like that was probably one of the things that probably should have a name or does have a name, but we don't know what the name is.
We're getting to the commentary during one of the later matches.
Yes. Okay then. Where are we? Galano, hey, versus Aratoki, 7 minutes and 40 seconds. They are both in the same faction, which made this one interesting because generally speaking, faction members don't wrestle each other during the general run of things. It's only in tournaments. So they're both members of All Rebellion. So this was intriguing and a nice gentlemanly affair that I feel there was only going to be one winner. The larger gentleman who can flip around a lot with the big belt probably was going to win this match. Whereas the younger gentleman who doesn't flip quite so much, but is very good, was likely to lose. But Galano didn't squash him or anything. It was a fairly competitive matchup. What did you think of this?
Well, Harutoki comes out, and I'm like, oh, that theme song. How did you get the rights to that? Like, I was like, oh, I know that song. That's Mark Anthony's song. What was it? Vivir mi vida or something like that.
Yeah.
So it started out, oh, I like you. This is catchy. Then here comes this like blonde dude with a fishtail on his ring gear, and I'm like, what? What are you? Why are you? So I start asking right away, like, what's the deal with the fishtail? I am curious, and none of my Noah friends know for sure. Like, they can guess, but it's not like he's said anything. As far as they tell me, like, I don't know. I just don't want to watch enough. The guess is that it's either a reference to who trained him, Super Delphin.
Super Delphin, yeah, he was a dolphin.
Yeah, or it's a reference to just his nickname, which has Will in there.
Right.
But how he got to that nickname, Diamond Will, something like the Progress Diamond Will, something like that.
Yeah.
But they're not sure how he got that nickname. So if anyone knows for sure, just let us know. And then I started liking him right away because he's like the likable underdog thing, and I am just very weak to a likable, cheerful babyface underdog. And Galeno is perfect as the big bruiser who just jumps on him, lands on him, and you're like, oh my god, he's dead. And then
I'm sorry, my friend, for landing on you from a great height whilst weighing 300 pounds.
That was kind of intentional, but I'm still sorry.
I did not mean to. I was only meaning to win a wrestling match.
And then Galeno just doing shit he shouldn't be able to do. Really impressive. Looking like
Isn't it?
he looks like he's so impressive to look at. Like he's not even, some guys you're like, well, they're big because they are heavy and they are kind of, without saying negative about this, fat because they're fat.
Yeah.
But Galeno is just he's not fat, he's just really big. And
it's all muscle.
It's awe-inspiring.
It's all muscle, which means
terrifying.
it's all muscle, which means he's even heavier than if he was just fat. It's just like, how did you get to be this size? Because it's clearly natural. There is no enhancement going on there. Like, you will look at some wrestlers, and even if they have not got back knee, you can go, yeah. Whereas with Goliath, you're just like, how did you get to this size? What did they feed you to get this? What?
It's not even like overweight. It's just that's his
size,
physique. That's wild. And
it's
then,
one of those bizarre things. I was going to say, it's one of the bizarre things where, like, Dr. Wagner, El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. and Dr. Wagner Jr. just look like smaller versions of him.
Yeah. And then, of course, they made this the perfect combination of, like, the plucky underdog who I think barely made it into the N1.
Yeah.
Versus the big hulking luchador. It's just perfect. It's perfect. And he's not even a heel. Like, Galeno's not a heel. He's not going out of his way to be, a dick, to bully the smaller guy. It's just he's so big that he's automatically going to be a huge hurdle for anyone to overcome, literally and figuratively. Wow.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I love him to bits. Because obviously me and Marcus went nuts for him when he was in Glee, because he's 24 as well. I should point that he's 24. Just
he
madness.
Looks like he's 35.
Yeah. And, like, he was in Bulk Orchestra, right? So Bulk Orchestra was the crew in Glade, well, just all the big muscle guys, right? They were all huge. And then Galano comes along and he makes them all look a bit dropped off, because he's even bigger than the rest of them. So yeah, he's just mad. It's absolutely mad a guy can move at that size, and I hope he has a long and successful career, because he's just awesome. Anyway, any thoughts on that one? More thoughts on that one, or are we happy with that one? Oh, this one was just up your street. Exactly what you tuned in for. Masa Kitamiya wrestled Manu Sawyer in 8 minutes and 28 seconds and, like, tried to destroy each other through sheer willpower, because, these two have never met a brick wall they didn't want to run into. So wrestling each other was a weekend in the park for them, as far as they were concerned. Kitamiya is part of Team 2000X. He is accompanied by his hype man Tedeschi, who has found his true calling as being an annoying little jerk in Team 2000X, despite his prior employment of being an annoying little jerk in Rattles, and prior to that being an annoying little jerk in Congo. He's now an annoying little jerk in Team 2000, but I think it works best here.
How was he in Good Looking Guys?
In Good Looking Guys, he was good looking and a guy. The major qualification for being in Good Looking Guys. He was. Do you see his Congo gear? He would just, like, had a red leather jacket, red tights, and red kick pads, and just, like, look, just trying to be the Fonz. It was just like, that was just amazing. But yes, I always felt sorry for him when Congo wrestled Lij, and they just left him out there to deal with, like, Shingo by himself. They're like, I'm a junior heavyweight, and Shingo murdered him.
Shingo is like, I used to be one too. It's fine.
So am I, kind of, if you squint. But yeah, and yeah, he's found his true calling, I feel, as Kitamiya's that hype man. Really, that's what it is, and he did a really good job here. Kimi has also turned heel to join Team 2000X. I think his prior character, which was essentially Masasato, but younger and alive, was it ran its course. You couldn't do any more with it. It was like, yeah, you wrestle like Masasato, and he taught you how to wrestle. That's really cool. Not a lot else we can say about that. So turning him heel, cutting off his mohawk, and making him even more aggressive, if that was possible, was a good move in my book. I like it. What do you think of these two? Because if you could avoid a wrestling match, this one would be it.
I have to admit that when you picked Manabu Soya, I was like, well, he was the last one I was going to pick. So yeah, I respect both of these guys a lot, but their style is just not my style.
No.
Big dude wrestling is not for me. I was like, can we get at least something fun in here? Do a flip, kill a young lion, something.
Begging
Well,
for a wrist lock is also.
I enjoyed this match though. I still enjoyed it. Kitamiya did do what I asked. He killed Daiki Odashima, which is why I hate him now. Don't touch Daiki. He's adorable. And it's like two bulls meeting in the center of the ring, and one bull was cheating and the other wasn't, and that was the difference. I did think it's interesting that they had Soya tap out. That feels like for a guy whose entire thing is I am never going to back down. I am going to power through everything. Look at my huge shoulders and my huge head. I am not saying no. It is a choice in the first match. But Kitamiya is like he's really enjoyable as a heel. Like he's fighting with the crowd, he's fighting with the young guys at the ringside, he's being a dick, and it's enjoyable. It's fun. What else? Oh, I did notice that during this match you could see that Gabe Kidd was watching.
Was he? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was at this show. So was Cody Hall, by the way. So two questionable white dudes. Welcome.
Yeah. Well, no, we're employed him when New Japan wouldn't, so I suppose, yeah, fair enough.
We have another questionable white dude coming up, so let's go.
But yeah, shall we move on
to the questionable white dude? Yeah, I was giving you an easy transition.
There. Yes, no. I just want to make sure you'd finished. Yes, Ricky Knight Jr. defies. That's a new word I invented. Defies many things. The people on the internet did not like this at all. He beat Keno in 11 minutes and 11 seconds. And it's like, let's be honest, being Ricky Knight Jr. is not the easiest job in the world because the rest of your family is so
So are you, by the way.
Yes. And then there's you, which is a bit of a problem. But one thing I cannot, everyone complained about the opening sequence because he pulled out this Johnny Sate World of Sport kind of sequence. And it's like, of all the things you could complain about, Ricky Knight Jr., him trying to be a British wrestler and get over in his first match in Japan is probably not the thing you should be complaining about. Because he did the thing you're supposed to do. Japanese fans want to see a British wrestler do British wrestling things. Do British wrestling things. You'll be fine. Seemed reasonable to me. Everyone else hated it. To the point where he had bots against him because they checked. Because there was at least 10 messages that all said the same thing going against Ricky Knight Jr. And I'm like, yeah, everything else I can agree with you on. But give the guy a chance he's actually trying to get over. So, match content-wise, I had no problem with it. But it's Ricky Knight Jr. And that's an issue at times. Your thoughts? I've stopped now.
I am here to disagree with you. I did not like the opening bit. I thought it looked like he wasn't fluid at all. He was a little going through the motions.
There was also a possibility of nerves there with it, as he'd never done it in a match before, or hadn't done it for a long time.
That's another point. He's never done it before, so it's like you're introducing yourself to a new audience. with something that's not you, just to get over. I get it, but you're supposed to get over with what you're good at, and this is not what he's good at, clearly, because it looked rehearsed but uncomfortable. I don't like how that made Keno look, because he was just standing there, befuddled, when his whole thing is, oh, you do that to me, I slug you in the face. That should be Keno's response to this. You jump over me one time, you go through my legs one time, I'm elbowing you in the face and then kicking you until you stop doing that behavior. And it just felt like this was one of those opening matches where, oh, you're supposed to get the new guy over. So go along with his shit. But this was not his shit. So like and just do what you're good at. If you're going to beat Keno, at least do shit that, you're known for. And that's another thing. Noah is like, all of these guys are stiff and hulking and doing impressive shit, and then Ricky Knight Jr. is doing the flips and the cute little spots, and like, just hit him in the face. Just hit him. Piss him off. And I wanted Keno to get so pissed off, and he did eventually get, pissed off, but he also did the I am so impressed by you face. I'm like, that's not Keno. I don't want Keno to be impressed by the cute little... I don't know if this makes any sense.
I understand where you're coming from, and I understand your logical thought, but my old school wrestling head says it was okay. I'll give it a pass because it's his debut, and he's trying to make an impression, and that's fair enough as far as I'm concerned. Or I understand where you get the frustration from a storyline point of view and from a character point of view.
And from a Keno point of view, just like,
from a Keno point of view,
I love Keno, and I feel like it does a bit of an injustice to him when he's so awed by barely, serviceable World of Sports stuff. Like, had it been fluid and rehearsed and something he does a lot, like had it been Zack Sabre Jr. stunting on Keno, I'd be like, yeah, of course. But he's not known for this. He doesn't do this. It's just a bit because he's in Noah now and he's introducing himself and, oh, he's British. And that's just... Having Keno be impressed by that and beaten by that is just kind of...
To be fair to them, though, he did break down into kind of a more Noah progress style towards the end.
Yeah. And I do have to admit, I am biased against him because of all of the shit I've seen him say and do. So I was never going to really enjoy this. I think the rest of the match was serviceable, was fine. It was fine. Him beating Keno is just another thing that I just love Keno, and I think it's very normal to have the ace or one of the top guys of your company, put over the visitor. Like, that's a common staple in wrestling, in Japanese wrestling, especially. Like, Old Japan does it, New Japan does it. But it's even more gutting when it happens with a guy you don't really see anything in, and who's not doing the shit that he's known for and that he should be doing. And then the whole internet is like, oh, this is shit. And you're like, yeah, I didn't like it either. And that's the beginning of the match. Like, that's another thing. That's how you start. So everyone who is already predisposed to disliking you sees that opening bit and is like, okay, yeah, he sucks. Was it Savi who said, I'm giving him 2 matches, and then no one...
Yeah, Savi hates everything. Savi basically hates everything ever.
Oh, that's not true. He loves House of Torture.
He does love House of Torture very much, and he loves Suzuki. Nobu Suzuki, not Suzuki. He loves he loves all of the House of Torture guys, really.
Yujiro,
yeah, he loves Yujiro, adores Yujiro, thinks Yujiro should be IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Hanamaru,
yeah, Nobu. I did say in response to, like, look, he's from Norwich. They have their own atmosphere. It's a whole different thing down there. It's barely even England. So, he's a Fenlander. It's a whole thing. But yes, I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it got a bit more... I can understand why you didn't like it. I didn't mind it. But again, it did pick up towards the end, thankfully.
It was fine. Like I
Yeah.
focused on what my
I
issues
think,
were a lot. It
and I
was
think,
fine eventually. I just yeah.
yeah, I think he's going to default back to his more regular style now because he's done his thing and he can move on. I hope so. Anyway, surely he's learned his lesson from that. But shall we move on?
Or he's doubling down because he's smarter.
Just to annoy people even more. We
Well,
see it.
call you guys.
I would respect him more if he doubled down and just did entire like chain wrestling for the rest of the tournament. That would be fantastic.
Just copied an entire Zack Sabre Jr. match.
Yeah, just or find like a Johnny Saint match from 1983 and just do the whole.
No. It's funnier if it's Zack Sabre Jr. because then you can put them side to side and be like, well, that's what Zack is doing now.
But
Yeah.
we'll see. Yes. Where are we?
My boy.
Kazuyuki Fujita. Sorry? Yes, your boy, who unfortunately lost. Kazuyuki Fujita. Speaking of hulking great big men, he's an old man now these days. Bless his cotton socks. How old is he? Because I've forgotten. He's 54. He's only 3 years. He's 3 years older than me. And to be fair, I can't do that, so I shouldn't really complain. But he is massive. Fujita has been around forever. He New Japan guy and badass shooter, and he was in the era of New Japan actually putting the IWGP Heavyweight Championship up in shoot fights. So you had to go when you were IWGP Heavyweight Champion back then. And Naoki Sasaki, obviously a shooter himself. So this was an interesting and complex pro wrestling match of people who can put horrible submissions on you and make you wish you weren't born. And they keep you really, really hard. Fujita hit slightly harder, one would suggest, in this particular match. What did you think of this? Because, again, shouldn't really be your thing, but I have a feeling it was actually perhaps your thing.
Well, I
mainly because Oka was in suffering more than anything else.
That too. But
yeah.
Kazuyuki Fujita is not my kind of guy.
No.
And it doesn't also help that he is on the older side and so a bit slower. So like not even you don't even have the impressive feats, of oh look how fast he is, how strong he is, how impressive he is. He is still impressive. Still really impressive, but not my kind of thing normally. And I'd seen a lot of people complaining about this match before I watched it. Because they're like, why would you have Fujita beat your future top guy? You're supposed And I was like, oh, okay, let's see what this is then. I thought it was fine. I thought the match was fine. Like, I'm upset, of course, that my guy lost.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna give Ulka some losses, I suppose you should. Then having the more experienced version of him, who is twice his size, makes sense.
It's reasonable.
Because and Ulka looked amazing. Like when he came out, the whole golden robes thing, stunning.
Yeah.
And he looked very cool. He had all the presence in the world, and then you pan the camera to this grouchy, angry-looking mountain of a man who decides to sit on Ulka and like try and tear some limbs off, which was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was the contrast between like slow power and then Ulka trying to be quick in making him tap, like trying to get out of reach and then get behind him and get a limb, and it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching Ulka try and figure out how to deal with a guy like that. And I think it makes sense why he lost. Like, I'm not happy about it, but
no, I mean,
what are you gonna do?
Vegeta has been known to politic in the past, and some sacrificial lambs would probably keep him happy as well. I did, funnily enough, the other week I was doing research for the Akira Hokuto episode we did with Marcus recently, and one of Akira Hokuto's comeback matches, just as a bit of fun, was the match against Kendo Kashin, who is Vegeta's longtime consigliere and was his tag team partner in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it was based around a feud that Manabu Nakanishi was having with Vegeta. Now, Nakanishi was never that quick, but he flew around Vegeta. And this was 20 years ago. But like Nekinishi made him look like he was stood still most of the time. So yes, so it's Vegeta's always had kind of like that stoic, slow-moving power that you were talking about. It's kind of his hallmark, and he's still got that presence because he is a devastating physical presence. Let's say you can't
Yeah,
say that.
it's like he's decided that he knows what his strengths are. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, I know I'm strong, and I know I'm not the quickest. So if I just force you to come at me, I have the
Hmm.
advantage.
Yeah.
I can run after you, but that's at a disadvantage to me because that's not what I'm good at, and that's what
Yeah.
you are good at. So I'm just gonna stand here and wait for you to get in reach because you have to if you want to win this match. And I can wait. I can wait you out.
Yeah. That's it. And that's literally what he's been doing for 30 years.
Yeah.
And
I,
it
I
works every time.
I do have to say about Ulka. Um
Mm.
Ozawa being spoiler Ozawa is out.
Yeah.
Makes some of the decisions that they're going to be making interesting because if you want to give someone the victory now, because it can't be Ozawa and everyone kind of figured it would be,
Yeah.
Ulka might be, a backup. So
Yeah.
I'm curious. I wish that after the tournament someone could tell me what the difference between the original plan for whoever wins
Mm.
and them winning, because I'm
Yeah.
curious how they pivoted, because there's no way of if Ozawa was actually supposed to win, there's no way of making him win now, so they have to do something else. So
No.
what are they going to do? What are their changes going to be? Are they going
It's
to default to a steady one, like make it Kaito again, or make it Keno, or are they going to go with a
somebody
guy like
fresh.
Ulka?
Yeah. I think it's interesting. It's one of the things we'll find out in a shoot interview in 30 years' time. To be honest, I'll be 80 and probably won't care at that point. But it's kind of like we're only finding out now why Riki Chosu left New Japan in 1983. And that's like 42 years ago. So the odds of us finding out about this are slim unless somebody leaks it. But we'll never know.
Let's
Speaking
make
of,
friends. Let's make friends with people in Noah. You do that. I'll
you
try
do
Ultraman.
that. You do that. How much time do you think I have? Naomichi Marufuji and Ozawa. We should talk about that because, as we just mentioned, Ozawa is no longer in the tournament from mislanding or mistiming, I guess, really. A moonsault, Asai moonsault from the inside the ring to the floor on Naomichi Marufuji. Yeah, just an unfortunate accident. Just over rotated and landed badly on his leg. And yeah, definite injury. He was stretchered out. It's been announced that he's out. So yeah, just really unfortunate. But what intrigued me about the way he was presented was what Stu was saying on commentary about like how much of a draw he is, how much he's outdrawing everybody else in Japanese wrestling, how much of a superstar he is, which I found really intriguing because it's like, how can I put this? They are very informative as a commentary crew, but they don't effuse about people. They tell you kind of how it is, and they do it kind of more like a sports orientated thing. Like when you see Chris and Walker talking about guys in New Japan, they're very effusive about the characters and where the storyline is, and they're very much into trying to tell you that story. Whereas Stu and Mark are much more kind of like facts based, and they give you a little bit of fairy dust, but they're more kind of trying to present things to you as the things that they've done in the recent past rather than being quite so gilding the lily, I guess. But yeah, obviously they're going to say, this guy's rubbish. I can't stand him. They're not going to do that. They're obviously pitching these guys as like, they're selling them. But it doesn't seem as effusive. But they were really effusive about Ozawa. They were over the top about it, which does kind of suggest that he was due a strong run, if you see what I mean. You're like, ing at me. What's he on about now?
Well, first of all, the commentary, but we'll get to that during the next match. But you talked about Ozawa over rotating. It's interesting that you're putting it on Ozawa when
I wasn't particularly putting it on Ozawa.
No. But like,
No.
I mean, because the rest of the internet put it on Marufuji, and I've not seen the match. I was like, I'm not. It's barely anything. I'm not going to watch.
Yeah,
But I've seen like the bit where he gets hurt, not intentionally.
yeah,
It just played on my timeline, and it kind of feels like Ozawa either jumped way further than Marufuji had anticipated,
yeah.
or Marufuji just didn't realize where he was supposed to be because he just didn't catch him at all. He
No,
barely glanced uh
yeah,
the weight of,
yeah,
and he did a the jump he did was impressive. Like it was fast paced, it was big. So
yeah,
if there's no one catching you, then I understand why he fucked up his legs. I think
yeah,
it was a ligament tear.
mm, yeah,
Um, and people have looked up like how long that would take to heal, and it goes from like 2 months to a year or even 2 years. And I'm like, oh, that better be 2 months then. Um,
yeah. No,
yeah,
it's really unfortunate, especially as he's been on such a run, and
I am so sad.
yeah,
Like he
absolutely.
is one of the main reasons why I really wanted to do this tournament because like I said, I don't have a lot of time to watch no one
Mm,
normally. So I was like, well, this is a reason to
yeah,
watch and to get at least a couple of singles matches out of him and to get to watch him.
yeah,
Because everything about him is right up my alley.
yeah,
It's just he seems tailor made to be someone I enjoy. I just don't get enough time. So I was like, this is the moment. This is the moment I'm going to get invested in him.
then you
And
can.
then, and then he gets injured in the first match. Ah,
Yeah, I mean,
and
I wasn't.
Marufuji, I feel bad for Marufuji because
Yeah,
the moment this happened, the floodgates opened, and he was like, "Marufuji is washed. This is all on him. Why would you not catch your main star?
yeah,
Why he shouldn't be wrestling? Why is he in this tournament?" And like, oh, I feel bad. I kind of agree that he didn't catch him.
yeah,
He should have probably caught him. Um, but he should retire is maybe a bit too
yeah. Especially like
drastic.
as a guy that kind of innovated all the aerial stuff as Awa does. It's not like he doesn't understand how important it is. It's just one of those things, and there was also like there were rookies around him as well. There was young boys there. It's not like he was alone in the entire situation. But yes, equally, I can see how frustrating it is that the top young guy doesn't get caught by the leader of the locker room, which isn't well, no, not even the leader of the locker room, the assistant president of the company. So yeah, and I understand how frustrating it is, but I don't think he's washed. No, or else I don't think he would even put himself in this tournament if he thought he was washed.
That's the thing. That's why people are like have an issue with it. Is that I'm just saying what they say. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
I
yeah. Of
agree
course
with
you're not.
this,
No, no,
but
no. Yeah,
they're positing that he's too arrogant and that he's not acknowledging that he's not capable of wrestling in a tournament like this anymore, and that he should have chosen someone else, and that there are guys who are the same age or even older who are physically way more capable of doing a
mm,
tournament like this than he is, and he should have, stepped back. And that it's the ego of Marufuji that caused him to be in this position, and by extension, Ozawa to get hurt. That's the
yeah.
arguments I'm seeing
It's
regarding
difficult,
this.
but equally, it's also difficult to make that judgment on a match that lasted 7 minutes and 33 seconds. Actually, it wasn't that short, but equally, he didn't. He wasn't slow in that match. He wasn't out of pace. He wasn't out of time. He wasn't dragging. He was
No,
putting. It's
it's
like,
another case of where the wrestling fandom very quickly wants to get their
yeah,
discourse out, and the more drastic and the more overblown, the better, because it gets Discord started and gets engagement and stuff. And
yeah,
Marufuji, people, people already want to call him washed. It's like when Naito
yeah,
wrestled a certain way. They were like, "Oh, look, this is another reason why he should retire, why
yeah,
he's washed." So it's unfortunate. I am very sad about Ozawa being out.
yeah.
I guess we'll have to do another tournament in the future then.
Yes, there's a tag. They have a tag tournament at some point, don't they? It'll be in that, I'm sure. But yeah, it is just like, yeah, I think the difference as well is wrestlers making choices about how they wrestle and actually being poor in quality are two different things. They actually may be choosing to be poor in quality to tell a story. Like if Narufuji wasn't taking chops like he used to and was collapsing and selling more, that's a story of he's getting too old. But he wasn't. He was keeping up. So I don't see where that discourse comes from, other than yes, he made a clattering mistake. If he made a mistake, or is our over rotated, or we don't really know. And in that position, and I'm sure Marufuji is absolutely gutted from a personal point of view because it's a person who works with him and a colleague, and from a professional point of view because he's the vice president of the company and he wants his biggest stars to be fit well and earning money for Noah and Cyberfight, obviously. But it's wrestling sometimes, isn't it? It's just the way it is. So here we are. Let us move on to happier times. If you're a New Japan fan.
Oh,
Roma
yes,
Takahashi defeated Yohei in 17 minutes and 47 seconds. 8.5 from the cage match users for the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship. Now, I'm not the kind of guy to say I told you so. However, did I not say early this year that if you want to refresh your Roma, you should send him to Noah for a bit? Did I not say that, Christy, to you on a podcast? It may have been a Today App podcast or a New Trooping show, but did I not say that, and was I not actually correct?
yeah. I
Yeah.
disagree with you? I don't think I
No,
did.
you didn't. I wasn't like. I'm just saying. I'm right, and I'm celebrating that moment.
Yes. Though I do think this is not just about Hiromu. I think
No,
he is
absolutely
a
not.
pawn in a Noah story, more so than the other way around.
I think this. My general point though was this is a throwback to Jushin Liger's run in Noah, and he didn't just have one. He had like 4 or 5, and whenever he got bored in New Japan or was stifled in New Japan, he would go to Noah, say, "You're all rubbish, and I'm better than you," and everyone would take a run at him. Title or no title, and that's how they built the Noah Junior Heavyweight division to be one of the best junior heavyweight divisions in the world. And he did it with the tag team division and junior heavyweights as well. And I think Hiromu going to Noah, not to say that the Noah Junior Heavyweight division is bad, it's fantastic, it's awesome, but they've been lacking in chaos as of late. And the Noah Junior Heavyweight division thrives on chaos. Like, unless a faction's splitting up after 3 weeks, they're not interested. Like, and the fans love it. And it's like Hiromu is the ultimate chaos demon, and you stick him in Noah, he's actually perfect for the place. He wrestles the wrong style, he does the wrong things. He's ideal for shaking up an apple cart. And I feel that, the way that they book this with Yohei, who's kind of like symbolic of the effort required to be a new Noah junior heavyweight, and Aita, who, as commentary said, the face of the junior heavyweight division. You've got those two things pushing at Hiromu, and all those kids in the dojo who are like up in his face. Not some of them, because some are like 30. But you know what I mean? Yeah, but it's that point, isn't it? Like, that's the thing. That's what creates tension, and it's a lovely story to tell, and we get to see the whole thing. What did you think of this?
I was surprised by the lack of anger about this.
Yes.
Because I was like, oh god, they're going to run with the, oh look, New Japan is forcing all the smaller promotions to do their bidding and is taking over, and but I think a lot of people see what this is. It's Hiromu being the outsider, like a bit like Takeshita in New Japan, only done differently, done the way it
We've
should
done well.
It's the outsider who comes in and who is denigrating everything about Noah, about the junior division, about the belt. Like, oh, it's something I wanted to do. Look, I did it right away. Look, you're all pathetic. And then everyone standing up against him, coming together against him. Like, I think the commentary said Eita is not normally beloved by all the other juniors, but they stood behind him. They were in support of him. They were like, well, at least you're Noah. Like, it's a bit like, It's like kind of a bit like evil in New Japan. At least you're
Yeah.
New Japan. So and then the younger generation, like guys like Daiki Odashima and Yunta Miyawaki showing up and standing tall and being like, we will beat you, we will defeat you, and Hiroma just ignoring them.
Yeah.
Just walking through them, like pushing them aside. Like, okay, nice and all. Where's Eita? Because I want Eita. And that's very the arrogant visitor, right? The guy. Oh, I have my eyes set on that guy only. I don't care about the rest of you, and that's going to be his downfall.
Yeah.
The downfall is that he disrespects and underestimates the Noah born.
Yeah.
And that's just such a good story, and I'm glad that people see that Hiromu is in service of that division right now.
Yeah.
And is not just taking over for his own, arrogance
No.
and self-absorbed interest in getting more titles or whatever. And at the same time, I'm glad that Hiromu is getting something to do, because this is the kind of Hiromu I want in New Japan, like the mocking guy, the rude shit stirrer who goes a bit too far and riles up a bit too many people. Does the whole flirting thing still. And that's what his job is, because it gets people over.
Yeah.
And I want New Japan to look at this and go, yeah, that's the role we should be giving him.
Yeah, and it plays into New Japan stuff, because if you're unaffiliated, surely you can wrestle for anyone.
Yeah, it's fine. And I haven't seen today's show yet, but he brought the title with him, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a thing in New Japan as well, and that can lead to stuff in New Japan. So I really enjoyed this match. I thought the chemistry between them was great. They are both daredevils. They're both questionable in their decision making when it comes to wrestling. They're not scared to get hurt. They're not scared to hurting the other guys. They are really impressive. And Hiromu is the taller, bigger, stronger dude, and Yohei is a technical whiz, and he's just jumping around and really impressive. And they both have this chaotic energy about them. It mixed so well. This was my favorite match on the card, which is sad. It's not a tournament match, but it's fine.
But yeah, I mean, we did want to cover this card on a Troopany show when the original match was signed, but then Yohei got injured, so they couldn't run it. So this was a nice bonus for us.
Yes.
Yes.
My one gripe here was the commentary. Yes. I was like they started off by calling Hiromu a high flyer.
Yeah, not lately. He's more of a low flyer.
He barely does any flying these days. And then one of them started talking about Naito left New Japan a few weeks ago. And I'm like, what? It's been 3.5 months. What the hell are you talking about?
To be fair to Stu, he wrestles for he commentates for 5 different companies. Time moves very quickly.
Well, slowly, apparently. Naito left a few weeks ago, and that's why it almost, bit out of sorts. It's been a quarter of a year by now. Can we? Anyway, that was the only thing, and I've been told by some Noah fans that they regularly get shit wrong, and that they're maybe not very informed. But I can't tell. I enjoyed it for the most part, but once they started talking about a guy I know shit about, I was like, nah.
I love Stu listen commentary. Mark's okay, but I didn't catch the name of the other gentleman, because when I tuned in and got onto Wrestle Universe, the first option was the Japanese commentary. And I thought, oh, they mustn't have put the English commentary up yet. And it was buried. I had to go find it. So it was like, oh, so I missed the first, because I'm not going to rewatch the first 2 matches because I've missed the commentary. That doesn't make any sense. So it was like, I missed the American gentleman who was co-commentary. I hope he seemed very good. Apologies for missing your name, sir. But Stu, I have said that I could listen to Stu commentate on paint drying, and I would be thoroughly entertained. And I genuinely enjoy his work.
Would you care if he got shit wrong about the paint drying?
What if you called it like the wrong brand of paint or something?
The wrong color, or
Wrong colour. Clearly off blue.
there's
Eggshell.
beautiful green, Noah green paint, and it's like bright red.
I don't think he would, but overall, I just like his tone. That's Scottish vibes. Maybe that's the reason why I picked Jack Morris as well. Just the whole. So I never asked you, what are you thinking on the kilt with Jack Morris?
I liked it.
You
It
like
was
the kilt?
good. It's a look. It stands out.
It's been a while since Roddy Piper being the last great kilt of our time, and I feel it's time for it to come back. I'm sure Roddy would approve because he's
Sure.
actually Scots, as opposed to Roddy who was actually Canadian. But there we go. Anywho, shall we move on to the main event? Keita Kiyomiya defeated Kenta, your Global Honor Crown champion, in 13 minutes and 49 seconds. This was a fantastic performance from both of them. Here's the thing. We talk about wrestlers making choices, and Kenta's pretty much entire New Japan run, specifically the last 6 months because he was tagging with old beardy chops, was really don't want to be here. I really can't be arsed, but they're paying me. And that was a wrestler's choice in the fact that he had flashes of brilliance, but he was picking up a check. And since he's gone to Noah, the bits that I have seen of him, it's the Kenta of old. Now, he can't be the Kenta of old because he's older, but certainly that wrestling IQ never left, and his ability to kick people incredibly hard and put together stunning professional wrestling matches has never left him. He just has a crew of people he would actually like to get over now. Which is a much better thing for him to be doing with his life. And Kenta Kiyomiya has had about enough of everybody's shit. And not Kenta Kiyomiya, Kaito Kiyomiya. That was because I started off with Kenta and it all kind of floated into one word there. Kaito Kiyomiya has had enough of everyone's shit and is acting accordingly. As he should have done about 3 years ago, to be honest with you. It all kind of started with Okada. He was sick of Okada and kind of had a crack at Okada, but probably shouldn't have done at that particular time. He could handle Okada now. He could deal with Okada at this moment in time. Unfortunately, he's on a different continent. There you go.
Okada was so terrified of Kaito and the comeuppance he was going to get.
I think I think there's a possibility that this Kiyomiya might actually just fly to Florida and just stand in his doorway and stare at him. But yes, he's an angry young man, but he's still smiling, and fans seem to like him better this way. Do you like him better this way?
I liked him before. I like him a lot now. I enjoy a good guy who, once you take it too far, once you piss him off too much, he just goes crazy. And that's Kaito. Like he starts off the match with we can have a wrestling match. That's fine. And then Kenta just disrespects him, and the crazy eyes show up. And it's so enjoyable. I love crazy Kiyomiya. I love the look in his eyes. I love the crazed smile. I love the delight when he gets hit over the face again and again and again. To the point where Kenta slapped Kaito so often and so hard that his face was bleeding. And chests bleeding we see a lot. But getting slapped across the cheek and across the collar, what's that called? The
temple.
No, where I'm pointing.
Orbital bone.
That's not the word I was looking for, but yeah, that one. So often that your skin breaks apart and you start bleeding.
Yeah.
That's not something we see a lot, and I enjoyed it. And Kaito only being 29 is ridiculous because it feels like he's been around forever, and he's not even to the point where he would be considered prime years for a wrestler.
No.
Jesus. And Kenta being the whole I was here before all of you guys. Well, at least Kaito. I was here before you. I will not be disrespected by you just because I was gone for a while. This is still my ring. This is still my Noah. And I've been disrespected long enough by the other company. I'm not gonna let you disrespect me. And that is Kenta's downfall, is that he doesn't respect Kaito. And Kaito gets back at him for it. And it's so good, it's so enjoyable. I love crazed Kaito. I love sullen, angry, senior citizen Kenta. Yeah, really good.
Did you see the bits from Takamania Empire 3 with the main event?
You'll have to be more specific because I don't remember show names, just what happened in them.
Takamania is a show that's run every year, and it's in honor of
I saw that. Yeah.
So
with Suzuki, yes.
Yes. So the main event this year was Minoru Suzuki tagging with Naomichi Marufuji against Shibata and Kenta. And Shibata tags in, and the first thing he does is drag Kenta into the ring and beat him up. and like Suzuki and Marufuji are kind of looking at each other and going, right. And so they kind of like stand around and watch, and then they start, well, we best have a go, really, haven't we? And it's just like it's Shibata getting his revenge for Kenta joining Bullet Club, essentially, on a show that is nothing to do with New Japan Pro Wrestling. But he can't wrestle on New Japan shows, but he can on independent shows.
They're just finishing the story. It's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, exactly. And you give it to Taka, who absolutely deserves it because he's awesome. So yeah, it was a fantastic piece of work. And just ridiculous, like chops and kicks and no selling, and Suzuki and Marufuji having, essentially it was two guys that fell out years ago who can't stand one another, and two guys who never liked each other in the first place tagging together. Just perfect wrestling, in my opinion. Anything else you'd like to talk about on this card, or this show, or this final match?
Not really. No.
No. Okay, then. That leaves us with our point situation after the first match.
Yeah, I was just writing down the names in my book. You picked Galeno, Soya, Morris, and was it Inaba?
Hang on. No, Tetsuya Endo.
Oh, Endo.
Yeah.
My bad. So yeah, and
see now Sarah Kerchak's going to be like mad at you because you forgot that I.
It's fine.
It's like, yeah, she won't pick on you because you're like a fellow victim of the patriarchy, so you're okay. I, as a white dude, should know better.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, day one. So let me grab the result page. I have a result page made on.
Oh wow!
Here.
See, they're dead organized. This is why I podcast with Christy, because she's so organized. She comes up with stuff.
Okay, so block A, you've got Soya who lost.
Yeah.
And Endo who lost. So that's 0 points.
Yeah.
And then you've got Galeno who won and Morris who won for B block.
So I got 4 points.
4 points.
Yes.
Uka Sasaki in A block lost. Kaito Kiyomiya won, so that's 2 points for A block. Harutoki lost, and who else did I have? Keno lost. So I got 2 points.
Oh, he doesn't mean the first. This is literally the first time I have led one of these points competitions in 3 tournaments in 2 years.
At least at the start. I think at some point during the G1, there was one day where you led the standings.
I think I caught up to you for a day, and then you like shot ahead again. So yeah, but yes, perhaps the tide has turned. Probably not. We'll see what happens on Saturday when we'll be back with you again with the Day At show. Is there anything you'd like to add, Christy?
Not really. I just want to say I might not be knowledgeable enough, but Noah, so bear with me. I don't know my shit, but I'm trying. I'm trying my best.
This is okay. It's kind of like it's back to the old school formula of the Treepenny show where we have one person who knows something and the other person who doesn't know much, and we introduce ourselves. The only difference is I don't know that much about the current Noah crew, so I'm learning as I go as well. So yeah, it's intriguing and it's enjoyable. The good thing I enjoyed about this card was I wasn't like I was just enjoying wrestling matches. I wasn't really like following booking stories and stuff apart from the junior heavyweight thing. But I wasn't really like, oh god, they're doing it again. Brain was not there because it's just like it's a different company and I'm not saying I don't care, I'm just not as invested in it so I can enjoy it at a surface level of what a cool bunch of wrestling matches and that's fun for me. So in many ways it's nice to take a holiday from things that are less serious, more serious in my wrestling head, if that's okay. Where can we find you on the internet, Mom?
You can find me at Smark Infested on Twitter and Blue Sky. I have a GIF account for All Japan, AJPW GIFs on Twitter. And finally, I have a podcast all about All Japan, which you can find on Twitter and Blue Sky under the handle All About AJPW.
You can find me at Sheriff Lone Star on Twitter, on Blue Sky, Mastodon, PixelFed, and Instagram as Sheriff Lone Star TX. You can find the show, Trooping Show, on Blue Sky and Twitter. You can also find it on Instagram. And we're also on Patreon. And we are on Facebook. We don't really go there because, God, it's terrifying over there. Anyway, have a lovely week. I'll see you on Saturday with more wrestling, which we will have enjoyed by the time we get to Saturday. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.